Hello, I'm Sarah Evans and I work in the Research and Higher Education team at the Royal Geographical Society with the Institute of British Geographers. So today I'm going to be talking about the support that we offer to postgraduate students here at the Society, whether they're working in geography or in other related disciplines. So I've got some slides, which I'll bring up in a moment, but if you've got any questions or queries, there'll be contact details at the end of the presentation, or you can drop us a note at rhed@rgs.org. So let's see if I can bring these slides up. Just bear with me a moment. That's great. So let's get started. Eventually. Who are we? The RGS-IBG is the UK's leading learning society for geography. So we exist to advance geographical science, and we do that by working to support geographers, geography and geographical knowledge. So we're four different things really. We are a learning society, that's the whole advancing geographical science bit, but we're also a professional body, which means that we exist to set standards for geography and for geographers, whether that's through our individual accreditation scheme, Chartered Geographer, you can apply to become a Chartered Geographer, or through accrediting undergraduate and taught masters programmes, which we also do as part of our work with Research and Higher Education. We're also a membership organisation. We have about 16,500 members. And finally, we are a charity, which means that we exist for public good. So that's who we are. In order to advance our work and our goals, we work with a number of different audiences. And I'm just going to take a moment to talk you through a little bit of that work, just to give some wider context, before we move on to talking about the support that we specifically offer to postgraduate students. So firstly, and unsurprisingly, I'm based in research and higher education after all. We work with academics and researchers at all stages of their studies or careers, whether that's postgraduate students like yourselves, all the way through to senior established colleagues. And we do this through a number of different activities, kind of across the life cycle of a given project, as it were. So we have funding and advice and support, and particularly through our grants programme, which we'll come back to talk about more in a minute. So kind of getting the research up and going. We also provide access to professional research networks, other support for professional development, so through our research groups and other networks. And we also have ways in which researchers can share their findings. So at the moment, the events that we would normally run, like the annual academic conference, are either being postponed or held online. So the academic conference will next take place in 2021. But we normally, outside of the present situation, we would be holding a range of events and activities throughout the year to help get network researchers together and sharing their findings to a range of different audiences. And so we're increasingly doing that online at the moment. We also have a number of scholarly publications, which are other routes for researchers to share their findings. Now I'm going to come back to talk about all of these different activities in more detail in a moment, because these are all parts of our work that postgraduates can get involved with. But before I do that, I just want to say a little bit about the other audiences that we work with, to kind of give you a wider sense of who we are as an organisation and the different ways we work to support geography. So importantly, we work with teachers and students in schools via the work of our schools team to provide support for them and their geographical skills and studies. So whether that's through our massive online resources bank for schools resources, which is for both teachers to support them with their teaching, but also students with their learning. We provide a whole range of opportunities for teachers, whether that's through a specific Chartered Geographer accreditation. We have funding, opportunities for professional development, other support and training. We run competitions and prizes for students, and we have a whole programme of work dedicated to inspiring the next generation to choose geography at each key moment in the pipeline, whether that's GCSE and A-level and going on to university in the UK, and other key moments as well, so whether that's through our ambassadors programme or other networks. So it's a really cool part of our work, and particularly in terms of inspiring the next generation of geographers and feeding the academic pipeline, amongst others. But we also work with geographers using their skills in the workplace more widely, beyond schools and academia, through the work of our professional and policy team. And again, here it's about providing opportunities for professional accreditation, it's about providing spaces for networking, and obviously increasingly online at the moment through webinars and other activity, and resources. So this is about those using geography in the workplace in a whole range of different industries and sectors, and in a whole range of different types of roles. Most recently, we've just launched professional practice groups. These are a parallel to the research groups that we already have in academia, which are intended to similarly work to support particular sectors, particular industries, where geography is kind of clustered. So there'll be more on that being announced over the coming months. And we also work to support geographers, particularly those who are working in government, the Geographers in Government programme. Geography is now a profession within government. And we also kind of keep an eye on the wider policy landscape. When it comes to geography, we circulate and respond to consultations in which geography and geographers have a stake, and so on. And then finally, we also work with public audiences to make the case for geography. So this builds on our work with all the other different groups, all the different experts that we work with. And this involves a number of different types of activity, which at the moment, of course, we are increasingly moving online. So in a normal year, we would have events and lecture programmes throughout the UK. Those are at the moment in the process of being moved online. We also have an exhibition programme at the Society and in locations around the UK and internationally, and my colleagues in the web team are working to move those online at the moment as well. So some past exhibitions, we're creating kind of online photo exhibitions, which is quite exciting. But it's about inspiring people to engage with geography and kind of make the case for geography. So I'm now going to turn to talking in more detail about the support that we specifically offer for postgraduate students. So the current slide is one of these terrible boring slides that I'm now reading off, which kind of lists all the different areas that I'm going to be talking through over the next few minutes. So again, it's about opportunities and funding. It's about networking and building a community. It's about having opportunities to share your work, talk to others who are working in your area, and other channels and avenues for sharing and publishing your research, whether that's in academic journals or more widely. So I'm going to just dive into some of that. So we're going to start with kind of some of the networks you can get involved with. So the first and the most important for postgraduate students is our Postgraduate Forum. So this is made up of all postgraduate fellows of the Society and any other postgraduates who want to get involved. So it's mostly online. We have the website, social media channels, lots of other ways that you can get involved with the PGF. Its activities are managed and directed by a committee of elected postgraduate students, and the elections for the 2020-2021 committee are coming up shortly, so do take a look at the PGF's website to find out more about that and how you can get involved. But again, through the website and through its other channels, it's about kind of sharing advice, finding people to talk to who are going through similar things to you. They've got an excellent blog, the Postgrad Life, the blog that you can see on the slide here. This bit, which kind of has perspectives from PhD students across geography, reflecting on different things that they've done, experiences they've had. It's a really great resource. And at the moment, we've also launched a new initiative, which is PGF at Home, which we've got circled nicely here. So this is in light of the fact that some of the core activities that the PGF would normally be doing, like the midterm conference and the series of sessions and workshops that they would run at the annual conference, are not happening this year because of the pandemic situation. So we are working closely with the PGF to curate a series of online events and online resources and opportunities to really bring postgraduates together, kind of replicate a bit of that conference feeling that they would have had. So focusing particularly around that sense of building a community, around getting connected with your fellow postgraduates, but also the opportunities for kind of wider professional development that we usually would offer at a lot of those activities. So it's a program of work that's going to run over the coming weeks and months. Some of it's going to be online videos like this, some kind of online events, webinars, also blog posts, other written resources. We're going to try and work in a range of different formats. There'll be more information added to the hub on the PGF website in the coming days, so do check that out. And if you're on Twitter, you may also want to follow the postgraduates through their Twitter handle as well, and they have other social media channels as well. So that's the specific one for postgraduates, but we also have a range of other kind of networks through the research groups that are specifically for different parts of the subdiscipline. So we've currently got 32 research and working groups working in lots of different parts of geography, whether that's historical geography, gender and feminist geography, the urban geographers, rural geographers, population geographers. I mean, I could be here for several more minutes kind of listing all the different areas, but basically, if it's an area of geography, there's probably a research group for it. And there's a long list of them on the website that you can go and check out that has links across to all of their different websites and social media channels. And they're really great networks to get involved with because it's a chance to talk to other researchers who are at institutions and departments that might be quite geographically far-flung from you. So it's about these kind of networks. Most of them have mailing lists, active social media channels. In normal times, they would regularly run events and often specifically for postgraduates to support postgraduates and early career researchers in their parts of the discipline. And increasingly, a lot of that activity is being moved online as well. So I do encourage you to go on our website with the link that's here. You'll find a list of all the different research groups. Scroll down, find the ones that you're particularly interested in, and find out more about how to get involved. And another thing to mention is that they will all be holding online AGMs later this year. And this would normally have taken place at the annual conference. They're going to be taking place online this year. And I would encourage you to get involved with those as well. It's a really great opportunity to find out more about the work of the group, what they've been up to, what they're planning for the coming year, and also to get involved, potentially becoming perhaps postgraduate rep on their committee. But there's other ways to get involved as well. So it's a really exciting opportunity. So do check that out. Another big part of our work, kind of moving on to the kind of funding and opportunities side of thing, is we have money to support postgraduate students. We have a series of grants, which I encourage you to have a look at, to support fieldwork, desk-based research, and so on. They tend to be quite small grants, but they can be enough to kind of get a project off the ground. So I do encourage you to have a look at the website and see what's there, find out if any of them are relevant to you. And what else? Yeah, it's just a really great opportunity to support your research in lots of different ways. And the deadlines for most of them tend to be in the autumn. So the next big tranche of deadlines will be in November of this year. So do have a look at that. So ordinarily, we would also have events specifically for postgraduates throughout the year, which are really great to get involved in. Obviously, at the moment, most of these are not happening in person. So the annual academic conference has been postponed to 2021, when we hope it will be taking place. But in the meantime, as I mentioned, we're working with the Postgraduate Reform to put on a series of online events. Several of the research groups are also working on online events. So you can still get involved with those. And as I mentioned as well, our public events team, the programs team, are also putting a number of events and lectures online. So do have a look at some of those. And for the majority of those, you do not need to be a member of the society to attend or get involved. There'll often be a discounted rate for RGS-IBG members on attending our events, but mostly they are open to anybody who wants to come along. So do check that out. Publications, so again, thinking about ways to share your work and your findings. As a postgraduate student, you are very welcome and indeed encouraged to consider submitting your work to our journals. So we have the 4 main journals: Area, the Geographical Journal, Transactions of the Institute of British Geographers, and Geography Environment, which is our online-only journal. And at the moment, Wiley, our publisher, have just signed a deal with JISC, which means that researchers at JISC-affiliated institutions have the opportunity to publish their work open access at no cost to the researcher. So do have a look at the information on the website about that. It's a really great opportunity to publish your work open access. So do have a look to find out more about that on the website. And we also have our annual Area Prize, which is the prize for the best paper in area by an early career researcher. So it's a really fantastic opportunity as well. So you can submit to our journals in terms of publishing. Obviously, other journals are available. But we also have advice and support about how to get published more widely. So just thinking through all the nuts and bolts of what that involves, demystifying some of that. So my colleague, Dr. Phil Emerson, who's our managing editor for the journals, is going to be doing a series of blog posts followed by a live Q&A about how to get published over the coming weeks. So that'll be added to the PGF at Home Hub. But we also have guidance online, the existing Publishing and Getting Read guide, and also the Communicating Research Beyond the Academy guide. Again, really great resources for thinking about how you can get your findings out there. So really, really good resources, do check those out. Similarly, we've got support for you with your teaching and learning skills. So another part of your professional development is support for teaching and learning. Many of you will have the opportunity to develop these skills over the course of your studies, opportunities for teaching, and we have resources to help you with that. So we're developing resources banks similar to the one that we have for school teachers that I already mentioned. They're specifically for higher education, so do have a look at that. In the past, we've also run events for those who are new to teaching in geography and related disciplines, and a lot of the resources and guidance from those is now available online or being added online. And we're hoping to continue to add to that and grow that part of our work. So do have a look at the website if that's something you're interested in finding out more about. If you want to find out more about what we've been up to, all of these different parts of our work, you can, as I keep mentioning, visit the website. But we also have a monthly newsletter, which is quite a nice kind of digest summary of everything that we've been working on, and also relevant updates and news from across the sector as a whole. So kind of everything that's going on in geography and higher education at the moment goes into our regular update. So you can sign up to that by emailing us to get you on the mailing list. We also post updates through our social media channels, particularly the RGS Twitter feed, for kind of more up-to-the-minute updates. So do have a look at that as well. And then finally, the obligatory plug. If you're interested in joining us and supporting our work, you can join us as a postgraduate fellow. As I've mentioned in a couple of places through this presentation, there are particular benefits such as discounts for our events, access to our past Monday night lectures online, things like that. A whole range of different benefits. You can find out more on the website. Particularly, it also allows you to get more involved with the governance of the organisation, direction travel, find out more about our kind of strategic work, and really great way to kind of show your support for the discipline and get involved with that. So I'm going to kind of close that there with the contact links that I mentioned at the beginning. But if you do have any questions, please do get in touch, drop us an email, tweet at us, and we look forward to hearing from you. So thanks very much, folks.